But if you failed, unfortunately, everyone would just stomp on you. Yes guys, it's Ibaram here again to another video, and this week we'll be talking about some childhood Jamaican games. Let's go! Number 1, Greenleaf. How this game is played is that you need to have a green leaf. And every time you say to someone Greenleaf and that person does not have a green leaf on him or her, then it means that that person will have to give you some of money. Now, looking back, it might not look like a game that children should be playing since it involves money. However, for us, it was not a big deal. We did not think about using it as a means of getting money from other people. It was just a fun thing to do, and we just did it. Number 2, B-Box. How this game is played is that upon joining with other persons, and we always join games by doing this, and each time that person says a word starting with the letter B, the person has to touch his or her chin. If the person does not touch his or her chin, then it means that all those who joined B-Box with this person has the right to hit the person in the face. Sometimes it got out of hand where you'd hit someone in class while a lesson is going on, and the person would cry, it would stop the lesson, it would be chaotic, but we loved it. Number 3, Karachi. In other words, karate. And again, this is a very aggressive game. As the name says, we would be playing karate by hitting, kicking, and doing whatever it takes to get the other person down. Now, this never got out of control, but I remember a part of the internet where I had 2 friends and they were having a disagreement. However, because they were friends, they would not actually fight. But one of them said to me, hey, at lunchtime when you play Karachi, I don't want to be on this other person's team because I want to kick him and hit him. So you find that some students might actually have used it to vent, which is quite similar with other contact sports such as wrestling or boxing. People use these sports to vent their pent-up anger and frustration, so it's quite normal, but for children, I wouldn't say. Nonetheless, I enjoyed it, and what made it exhilarating for me was the fact, or for the people too, was the fact that we would try amazing stunts. People jump onto trees and try to do a cool move or replicate some of the moves that we would see in the karate movies. If you were successful, it would be amazing and we'd throw you a party. But if you failed, unfortunately, everyone would just stomp on you. Yeah, it's quite aggressive. Number 4, Chinese skip. First of all, I have no idea why it's called Chinese skip. Nonetheless, let's move on. How this is played is that you would have some elastic bands and you would connect them like this until you make a chain. Once chain is made, you would have 2 persons on opposing ends and they would put the chain at their ankles while would have a 3rd person inside. The goal for the 3rd person is to jump in and out without touching the chain. Upon each successful jumping, the chain would move from the ankles to the knees to the waist to armpits, then neck, then fingertips. And if you're still able to successfully jump in and out, then you win the game. It's again quite interesting, quite fun, exhilarating, and this one is not violent. Number 5, Dandy Shandy. This was one of my favorite games while growing up as a child. How this is played is that you get a box or a ball or something that upon making contact, it does not hurt. You'd have 2 persons on the opposing ends while a 3rd person inside, and the aim is to hit that person inside. Why I partly enjoyed this game was that it really tested my agility, my flexibility, and other physical competencies. For example, someone throws a ball, you would jump and it passes between your legs, or you would bend and you would do all sorts of different physical moves in order to evade the ball, and trust me, it was amazing. It requires a lot of physical energy and effort. Number 6, Salda kick. In other words, football. But how this is played, if I remember correctly, is that each man is for himself and you have 1 person defending the goal or no one defending the goal, and the aim is simply to score the ball. Now imagine having 15 people play and each person represents his own team and your aim is to score. You can imagine how difficult it will get. Number 7 and last, Stuck and Pull. How this game is played is that you have a wall or a tree, which is called the base, and you have team number 1 here on the base. You have to touch the base in order to be safe. And then you have another team out there. The aim is just to run And the other team's aim is to touch you. Upon touching you, you're frozen, you cannot move. And once they've frozen everyone, then they win. The other thing is that if one of your team members also touch you while being frozen, then you are no longer frozen. And another addition to that is that if one of the opposing members touches you twice, then we say 2 freezes equal 1 unfreeze. So this game was quite exerting for me because it also tested agility, physical prowess, and flexibility. For example, once I had one of my team members being here who was frozen, and there was an enemy here and an enemy here. So while I was running, one enemy was going like this, and as I moved, the other enemy was going like this, and I had to bend backwards. And so performing these stunts was simply exhilarating. Your adrenaline was rushing as you tried to calculate how to free your teammate without being stuck, or simply how to run into enemy line or enemy territory and escape everyone based on your physical prowess. So it was simply amazing, and I loved playing all of these games. Hopefully I get the chance to do that in France. Anyways guys, that is it for our video today. And a question. What are some of your favorite childhood games? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you've not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you may always be notified when I make an upload. See you next time. Ciao, ciao.